On a lonely island near Scotland, a man named Michael lives alone with only his dog for company. Every week, a girl named Jessie and her uncle come by boat to deliver supplies, but Michael always avoids meeting them. One day Jessie secretly leaves a small gift along with the supply crate. After the boat leaves, Michael takes the crate but ignores the gift, spending the day drinking and playing chess by himself. The next week, Jessie breaks the rule and knocks on his door. Michael angrily grabs the new crate and tries to shut the door, but Jessie blocks it with her foot and offers the gift again, asking why he never talks to them. Michael refuses to answer and simply shuts the door. Before leaving, Jessie shouts that she isn't afraid of him, once again leaving the gift behind. While Jessie and her uncle sail back, a powerful storm suddenly approaches. The sky darkens and the sea becomes violent. Jessie struggles to row her small boat, but the waves knock away her oars and throw her into the water. Her uncle tries to help, but his own boat is being crushed by the storm. On the island, Michael's dog keeps whining at the window, making Michael realize something is wrong. As he rushes outside, he accidentally kicks Jessie's gift. Michael quickly takes his boat and races into the storm. Jessie manages to come up for air, but her legs are trapped in a fishing net, dragging her underwater again until she loses consciousness. Michael dives into the water, cuts the net, and frees her. He tries to reach her uncle too, but sadly the man is already drowned after getting trapped in his boat. Michael brings Jessie onto his boat and performs CPR until she finally starts breathing again. Later that evening, Jessie wakes up in Michael's house, lying on his bed. When she asks about her uncle, Michael sadly tells her the truth, leaving her heartbroken. Jessie spends the rest of the day in bed, crying, while Michael quietly sleeps on the couch. The next morning, Michael treats Jessie's injured ankle, which is swollen and cut from the net. Jessie asks why he hasn't called the police and wonders if anyone knows she's there, but Michael simply tells her to rest. When he steps away, Jessie becomes frustrated and demands to be taken back to the mainland, saying her family must be worried. Michael quietly reminds her that she doesn't really have anyone. Her mother passed away and she never knew her father. When Michael goes outside, Jessie sneaks out of bed and searches his desk until she finds a knife. Hearing him return, she quickly hides it under her pillow and pretends nothing happened. That night, Michael wakes up because Jessie is having a nightmare. As he tries to calm her, she suddenly wakes up and threatens him with the knife. Michael gently explains it was only a dream and even shows her the proper way to hold and use a knife. Over the next few days, Michael continues taking care of her. He helps her move around, prepares food, and treats her injuries. Eventually Jessie is able to walk outside and spends time playing with the dog, something Michael seems happy to see. One afternoon Jessie asks how he knew her uncle, and Michael reveals they once served together in the Royal Marines. Jessie then realizes she doesn't even know Michael's name, but he refuses to tell her. Since the dog also has no name, Jessie decides to call him Jack. Later Jessie watches Michael play chess and surprises him by showing she's actually very good at the game. When Michael checks her ankle again, he notices it's becoming infected. Even so, he refuses to go to a hospital and promises to find what he needs instead. After he leaves the island on his boat, Jessie looks through his desk and discovers a drawing Michael made of her and Jack. Jessie opens the drawer and realizes Michael actually opened her gift. Inside is a snow globe with a lighthouse that looks just like the one on their island. Meanwhile in London, a government committee harshly questions Manafort about secretly using a surveillance system called Thea. The program has access to almost every phone and camera across the United Kingdom. Manafort defends it, claiming the system has stopped many attacks and helped identify numerous terrorists. After the hearing, Manafort meets privately with the Prime Minister. She explains that the scandal has become a national embarrassment. To protect the government, she proposes a deal. Manafort will be publicly fired, while his protégé Roberta takes his place. In reality, Manafort will secretly continue running the Thea program from hiding. Seeing the opportunity, Manafort agrees, and the Prime Minister congratulates him on his retirement. Back in Scotland, Michael visits a pharmacy, carefully avoiding security cameras while buying medicine. He then goes to a clothing store and again avoids the cameras, quickly grabbing the nearest clothes without even checking the size. But as he leaves, he accidentally walks behind some girls taking a selfie. Soon after, the Thea system flags him as a dangerous terrorist. Roberta immediately sends an armed assault team to capture him. On the island, Michael properly bandages Jessie's infected ankle and gives her sweets to take with the medicine. He also gives her the clothes he bought, and surprisingly they fit her perfectly. Later that night during dinner, Michael suddenly hears a strange noise outside. Using binoculars, he sees a boat approaching the island. Realizing something is wrong, he quickly tells Jessie to hide in the bathroom, lock the door, and stay completely silent until he returns. Before leaving, Michael calls a mysterious friend and tells him he's coming with baggage. As soon as the call ends, he removes the battery from the phone so it can't be tracked. Then Michael and Jessie take the soldier's boat and escape the island. Soon, Roberta learns that her team has been defeated. She immediately sends a special agent after them and orders her staff to investigate who Jesse really is. By morning, Michael and Jesse reach Scotland. Jesse notices Michael is bleeding, but he insists he's fine. They quietly move through town looking for a vehicle to escape, but first they need the keys. Michael teaches Jesse how to handle a gun and asks her to stand guard while he sneaks into a nearby house. Inside, he searches for the car keys, but a young boy suddenly spots him. Moments later, the homeowner appears and points a gun at Michael. Before anything happens, Jesse sneaks up from behind and forces the man to help treat Michael's wound. At the same time, one of Roberta's technicians discovers something shocking. The terrorist profile they found earlier is fake. It was designed to appear whenever a certain face is detected by cameras. The code deletes itself, but the technician manages to recover it. Soon Michael's profile appears on the screen, showing that he was supposedly killed in action. Roberta realizes someone is trying to trick them into attacking their own people. When the technician tries to open Michael's mission records, the system claims the file doesn't even exist. Just then, the system detects a 911 emergency call from a boy in Scotland, saying a man and a girl have captured his father. Roberta quickly sends another team, along with the special agent she had already deployed. Meanwhile, Manafort secretly watches everything using his own version of the surveillance program Thea. When he checks the soldiers' recordings, he's shocked to see Michael involved. Hearing that Roberta has sent a certain agent, Manafort contacts him first and tells him the mission is now a black kite operation, meaning he must answer only to Manafort. The agent, Agent Workman, is loyal to Manafort and immediately agrees. Manafort orders him to eliminate both Michael and Jesse. Back at the house, the owner finishes bandaging Michael's wound. Michael plans to leave, but suddenly police surround the building. The owner's son admits he secretly called them. The officers were ordered not to attack, but when the homeowner runs to the door, Workman instantly shoots him in the head. Michael quickly stops the boy from running outside, but Workman continues firing, destroying all the police cars around the house. Jesse and Michael try to escape through the back door, but they run straight into two police officers. Michael quickly fights them both at once and knocks them out within seconds. When he steps outside, another officer appears, but Michael drops him with a single punch and takes his equipment. As they run, more officers attempt to stop them, yet Michael disables each one using pepper spray or a taser. The final officer doesn't even resist, so Michael simply takes his car keys. They jump into a police car and speed away. While escaping, Michael accidentally crashes into a few parked vehicles, but they finally manage to get out of the area. Watching everything through the surveillance cameras, Roberta tries to contact Workman, but he has already turned off his communication devices. Meanwhile, Agent Workman chases them in his own car and slams into the police vehicle. Michael pushes the car faster to stay ahead, but Workman starts shooting, cracking the windows. After hitting the police car several more times, most of the glass shatters. The high-speed chase continues through the forest, where Michael suddenly turns onto another road to lose him. However, Workman quickly realizes the trick and follows again, crashing into them repeatedly. When Workman fires again, Michael dodges the bullets and slows down slightly. As soon as Workman drives ahead, Michael rams his car, flipping it over. He then pushes the wreck off the road before driving away with Jesse. A few miles later they reach a construction site, and Michael decides they need to switch vehicles. Back in the forest, Workman actually survives the crash. As he walks along the road, a police car and a civilian vehicle stop to block him. Workman instantly shoots the officer and forces the civilian to give him the car. At the same time, Roberta calls Manafort and asks if he knows Michael. Manafort explains that years ago he secretly ran a group of elite agents called the Black Kites. These agents operated completely off the record so the government couldn't track their missions. Michael was one of the first members and an incredibly talented operative. According to Manafort, Michael was once sent to assassinate a foreign intelligence officer, but instead he faked the mission report and disappeared. Manafort claims Michael may have betrayed them and joined the enemy, advising Roberta to use every resource to stop him. After the call, Roberta orders her technician to hack into the Black Kite files. She discovers the truth behind one mission. Michael helped an Iranian scientist defect after the man provided valuable information about his country's nuclear program. Michael had been ordered to kill him, but he refused to break the deal and let the scientist escape. While Roberta continues reading the secret files, Manafort secretly watches her through the building's security cameras. Later, Jesse asks Michael if he ever had a family. Michael quietly says no. He never wanted a wife or kids because it would only make his dangerous life more complicated. Jesse replies that she would gladly accept a complicated life if it meant having her mother and uncle back. She then shows him a drawing she made of Jack, telling Michael that the dog is basically his family. Eventually, they arrive in another town and carefully move around to avoid security cameras. Unfortunately, a passing car's dashcam captures their faces. Soon, Manafort learns their location. After editing the footage to hide their presence, he secretly sends the coordinates to Agent Workman. Michael and Jesse enter a local church to meet Michael's old friend Arthur. Arthur drives them to his house deep in the forest. While Jesse looks around the kitchen and notices some unusual medicine, Arthur explains something important. Years ago he helped create the surveillance system Thea, and he still has a private copy of the software. When Michael disappeared, Arthur replaced Michael's face in the system with that of a random civilian. However, Manafort later changed it to a terrorist profile. Michael asks Arthur to keep Jesse safe while he deals with the situation, but Arthur refuses. Jesse interrupts them, revealing that Arthur has cancer. She recognizes the medicine because her mother used the same treatment before she died. Thinking Michael wants to abandon her, Jesse sadly apologizes for being a burden and walks away. Arthur then admits he only has a few months left to live. With no other option, Michael asks Arthur for the location of an old trafficker they once knew. Arthur warns that the man is extremely dangerous, but Michael insists he has no choice. Just then, someone knocks on the door. It's Workman. He immediately starts shooting, forcing Michael to dive behind furniture. When Workman steps inside, Michael shoves a shelf onto him. The two men begin a brutal fight, using anything in the room as weapons. During the struggle, a gun falls to the floor. Both are highly skilled fighters, but after a long exchange of punches and blows, Workman finally overpowers Michael. Just as Workman prepares to kill him, Jesse points the gun at him and begs him to stop. Workman instantly jumps at her to take the weapon, but Michael grabs a nail gun and fires it into Workman before escaping with Jesse. As Workman shoots again, they rush outside and reunite with Arthur, who quickly drives them away. Workman fires several more shots but can't stop them. Later, Manafort texts Workman asking if the job is finished. When Workman replies no, Manafort prepares his team for the next move. When the group reaches a nearby town, Arthur gives Michael a phone and leaves them. Michael and Jesse continue driving alone. Jesse asks if she can go with him to the next island, but Michael refuses because he wants her to have a normal life. Meanwhile in London, Roberta discovers that someone has secretly been using Thea behind her back. To expose the person, she sets a trap. Michael deliberately lets the cameras capture him and Jesse. They enter a nightclub, where Michael roughs up the bouncer to get inside. When Manafort sees them on the surveillance feed, he tries to trace their location, but the system blocks him. At that moment Roberta realizes Manafort has been secretly controlling the program. Inside the club, Michael meets a trafficker named Kamal. Michael asks him to arrange safe passage for Jesse with a new identity. Kamal questions why he should help. Michael reminds him that Kamal's criminal business only survived because he secretly informed Manafort about rival traffickers. But now Manafort is operating illegally and will eliminate anyone who becomes a problem. Since Michael exposed himself to the cameras, agents will soon arrive at the club. Realizing the danger, Kamal reluctantly agrees. Moments later, Kamal prepares the documents. A boat will leave in just 30 minutes, so they must move fast. However, as Michael and Jesse try to leave, they discover Manafort's agents have already arrived. Michael quickly attacks one of them, steals his gun, and shoots him. The loud music hides the sound from the crowd. He then grabs a glass from the bar, smashes it, and stabs another agent. A third attacker is shot down, and this time some people start noticing the chaos. Michael and Jesse run toward the bathroom corridor, but another agent appears and a gunfight breaks out. After briefly distracting the attackers, Michael pulls Jesse back into the club. Suddenly, more agents surround him and begin beating him down. Jesse tries to join the fight and a man brings her down, so Michael shoots the guy to save her. The crowd finally panics and runs away. In the chaos, it's difficult for Michael to move and an agent takes the chance to kidnap Jesse. Michael calls Arthur, who gives him directions by following the kidnapper on the security cameras. As Jesse is thrown in the back of a van, Roberta's soldiers also arrive and block the street. Michael still thinks they're enemies and beats up a few of them to open the way and keep running. When he finds the van, Manafort's agents surround him, so now he has to fight them. Michael brings them down one by one before rushing to reunite with Jesse. At that moment, Workman arrives, so the duo steals a bike to escape. At the pier, Jesse cries because she doesn't want to leave without Michael. Suddenly they hear a gunshot, so Michael tosses Jesse on the boat and watches her leave safely. Afterward, Michael and Workman fire at each other until they run out of ammo. Then they start fighting hand to hand, using a piper and a chain as weapons. Workman manages to get Michael in a chokehold, but Michael brings him down and hits him several times with the chain. For his last blow, he wraps the chain around the pipe and strikes Workman in the head, finally killing him. Sometime later in his mansion, Manafort looks out the window and sees two guards dead on the ground. When he turns around, Michael has entered the room. They argue about the Black Kite project for several minutes until Michael finally shoots Manafort in the head. 3 months later in Spain, Jessie has settled into a new life. Roberta and her team are watching her, expecting Michael to show up someday. Jessie is currently reading at a cafe, but Roberta loses sight of her when someone moves the camera. The waitress brings a bag for Jessie, who finds a chess piece. Michael watches her from the street but leaves before she turns around.